wins. They finished with 108 wins. They make quick work of the Yankees, quick work of the Astros, and then quick work of the Dodgers. Like, at no point were they threatened this postseason, really, except for maybe the 7th inning of Game 4, briefly. Remarkable run.
And the whole way, Nick, the rookie skipper, manager, Alex Cora, he's able to get it done. I thought that was very, very important. Not only with the talent, managing the pitching, and getting David Price to restore his confidence at the end was amazing. Congrats to the Red Sox.
All right, moving on to the Steelers now. They beat the Browns 33-18. Antonio Brown had a great afternoon, caught 2 touchdowns from Ben Roethlisberger. James Conner continues to shine in place of Lev Bell with 212 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Steelers improved to 4-2-1. Cece, how impressed were you with Pittsburgh yesterday?
Very impressed. They were very focused, and given, too, the tragedy in Pittsburgh this weekend, knowing that as an athlete, you know that you have to provide a certain amount of entertainment so people can get away from it. So their escape for a few hours, James Conner continues to impress. But the physicality of that offensive line, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they're not very physical on the defensive side. Good win from them, even though it was the Browns.
Listen, they were down 6-0 early. The Browns, because they're the Browns, couldn't. It should have been 14-0 early. Instead, it was 6-0. Then Pittsburgh dominated from there on out. But it should be noted, Mike Tomlin, who's always criticized, even though his coaching resume is almost impeccable, he lives in the community where that tragedy happened. He said at his post-game press conference, and we seem to be choked up, he's a member of the Squirrel Hill community, and his ability to do his job in the face of unspeakable tragedy. And as you said, listen, nothing solves what happened in Pittsburgh, but for people in Pittsburgh that maybe weren't directly affected by the tragedy, but still had it weighing on them, it gave them a nice relief, or at least escape, I should say, for a few hours. Quality win, bigger than football this weekend for them.
All right, moving on, the Giants hosted Washington on Sunday. Very gracious hosts. They allowed Adrian Peterson to have his way all afternoon. Rushed for 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a win over New York. What up, Cece? How impressed are you with AD?
I'm very impressed. Wait till you guys see the highlight come back around. You're going to see a coach on Washington sideline. Now, he's not as fast as AD, but he's running after him down the sideline.
Right here, coming?
I'm so impressed. There he is right there. Did you see him? He's getting it. I'm impressed because this is not a guy that we thought had this left in him. We thought that he might have a couple good games, but his overall toughness it's really changed this team, and I got a lot of respect, man. This guy is playing football for the minimum, and, man, he is playing like he's playing for $20 million. So a lot of respect to Adrian Peterson and what he's doing at this advanced age as a running back. Very, very rare you're going to see something like that.
5 of 7 games this year, he's had at least 96 yards rushing. If he continues this up in the second half of the season, this is one of those bullet points when he makes the haul. Like the 2,000-yard season after the blown ACL.
Yes.
That having an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber season, it wasn't just CNI that thought he was done after last year. The Saints thought he was done. The Cardinals thought he was done.
Yeah.
He's been great. That run right there, that is the longest run by someone his age since Jim Thorpe.
Wow.
Jim Thorpe, we had to pull out of record books. I don't know, but a long time ago, Jim Thorpe. Yeah, 60-yard run, 60-plus yard touchdown run.
Finally, Cam Newton looked great against the Ravens yesterday. Threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for 1 as the Panthers beat Baltimore 36-21. Carolina now 5-2. Nick, what do we learn about Cam Newton and the Panthers on Sunday?
Man, that they're a really legitimate contender, a really good football team, one of the best coach teams in the league. My nerdy football analytics side loves what Ron Rivera pulled off right before the half to basically steal 3 points. And Cam, he's not playing the level he played at in 2015, but I don't know that he'll play at that level again, but it's damn close. And the other thing is, man, it's funny how seasons can change. They're down 17-0, coming off a loss in the 4th quarter against the Eagles. And then from that 4th quarter to the end of the first half of this game against a very good opponent, the #1 defense in football, they outscore the Eagles and Ravens 41-7 in 3 quarters and turn their season around. So at 5-2, you have to consider them a contender. They haven't played the Saints yet. They won't until 2 of the last 3 games of the year. And Cam is the engine that's been pushing this offense from the word go.
Yeah, we're not going to see a lot of positive press coming out of Carolina because the Rams being undefeated, Drew Brees, what he's doing, breaking all these records, and them only having one win and the 6-game
one loss
in the 6-game winning streak. But Carolina is playing good football. And their ability to be physical, like you talked about Ron Rivera, he doesn't get enough credit. We call him Riverboat Ron, like he gambles, but he is a solid, rock solid coaching of football, offense and defense. 33 rush attempts by Carolina. When they have that, Cam rushing the ball, mixed in with that running attack, they are hard to beat. Go ahead, Jenna.
Well, I was going to say, last year we talked so much about the problems with this team was that the team would go as Cam goes. And he was so inconsistent that every week in and week out, it was a different Panthers team.
True.
How do you beat inconsistency? How do you out-coach that?
Well, listen, the problem, the Panthers had so much problems last year, they went 11-5. And we're in a shootout playoff game that they barely lost. Like the Panthers last year were a good football team. Now Cam was up and down all year. This year he hasn't been up and down. This year the worst game he'd played was that Eagles game until the fourth quarter, where he had a remarkable fourth quarter. But one of the ways I think you can overcome if you're worried about your quarterback being inconsistent is the running game. 33 for 154 against the #1 rush defense in football. That's what I don't know if the Ravens are still the #1 rush defense, but going into the game yesterday, they were. Like, that's one way to overcome it.
That is one way to overcome it, but what they did this offseason was they tried to address the inconsistency at quarterback from Cam Newton. That's why they hired Norv Turner. So what you're speaking about, Jenna, they were trying to smooth out the bumps in Cam's game. And it's not as if they want Cam to play like they did in the MVP season. It's those bad games. It's turning the football over and making bad decisions. And Cam has played good football, even though the numbers don't reflect as far as touchdown passes in this new NFL 2018, where the numbers are so inflated. Cam has kind of gone under the radar, but he has been more consistent because he hadn't had those dips. Brilliant fourth quarter against Philadelphia, followed that up with a very good win against the Ravens.
And the Ravens on the other side, by the way, their season, the exact opposite story of the Panthers. It all started with the fourth quarter last week. They're up 10 against the Saints. They blow that lead. They get dominated in the first half. A team that could have been 5-2 is now sitting at 4-4. So the fourth quarters of last week's game for the Panthers and the Ravens might have been turning points of their season.
Meanwhile, the Panthers now 5-2. All right, let's move on to Sunday Night Football. Drew Brees and Kirk Cousins facing off. We'll take this till a minute left in the half. Cousins finds Adam Thielen, who fumbles, recovered by Marshawn Lattimore. Thielen not happy about his state of affairs. That would set up an Alvin Kamara touchdown, his second of the day. Second half, Cousins throws the brutal interception here. P.J. Williams takes it back for the pick six. Saints go on to win 30-20. They're now 6-1. Here is Drew Brees on the win.
I think it says a lot about the team. Obviously, we come into every game with a ton of confidence. I think we feel really confident going on the road. We feel like we're battle tested. We feel like we've won in a lot of different ways, been in a lot of different types of games already.